What's up everyone? Today I want to show you my top 3 list that's basically a passport check for my PlayStation library. These are 3 Japan-only PlayStation games that never officially escaped the archipelago, which means my childhood probably never got a fair shot at being weird in the best way. The English translations you'll see in this video were created by dedicated teams of fan localizers, making it possible for people like me who don't speak a word of Japanese to enjoy these games in their full glory. Let's go! Coming in at number 3, Dr. Slump. If you only know Akira Toriyama from Dragon Ball, this is like discovering your favorite chef also makes desserts. This game is basically a rapid-fire comedy show. It's trying to be a Saturday morning cartoon that escaped into your console and immediately started touching every button. One minute you're doing something that feels like a minigame, the next minute you're in a situation where the correct solution is apparently run directly at a problem with the confidence of a small robot child. And visually, it's got that Toriyama charm, round expressive characters, punchy animations, and the kind of face expressions that look like the character just remembered they left the stove on. Gameplay-wise, it's this variety mix of little activities and scenarios. The game constantly goes, okay, that was fun, now do this other thing. Why? Because shut up, that's why. It's the kind of design that feels like someone spilled a box of minigames on the floor and went, perfect, ship it. Basically, if your game library needs one title that feels like a sugar rush with a controller, this is it. Dr. Slump is the only game where you'll finish a segment and go, I don't fully understand what I just accomplished, but I'm weirdly proud of myself. Number 2, Racing Lagoon, aka what if Square made a street racing game, but couldn't stop being Square for 5 seconds? Because yes, this is a street racing game with full-blown RPG mechanics. Not RPG elements like a skill tree tucked in the menu, no. This game wants you to treat your car like it's the main character. You don't just drive, you level up your car like it's a party member. And the tone? Pure 90s. Everyone talks like they're in a cool underground racing anime, even when they're basically arguing about horsepower in the parking lot. The best part is how seriously it takes itself, and not in a bad way. It's got that Square pacing where it feels like you're progressing through a story arc, not just a tournament ladder. You're not only chasing wins, you're chasing reputation. If you're gonna give me a racing RPG, go all in. Make me feel like I'm about to fight Sephiroth, but with a Nissan. Racing Lagoon is what happens when a JRPG studio looks at street racing and says, cool, but what if it had lore? Honestly, 10 out of 10. And finally number 1, Tales of Phantasia. And while the English version came out years later on the Game Boy Advance, the PS1 version still remains region-locked to this day. Tales of Phantasia was also released in English on iOS in January 2014, but the app was removed from the App Store shortly after, within roughly 6 months. One of the most legendary JRPGs that PlayStation owners outside Japan basically had to learn about through rumors, magazine blurbs, and that one friend who totally has it, but somehow never brings it over. If you've ever wondered where a lot of the Tales identity really clicks into place, it's here. Adventurous tone, a cast that actually feels like a group traveling together, and combat that refuses to sit still. Instead of a very popular at the time turn-based combat, battles play out in that side-view, real-time style style. You're moving, chaining attacks, calling out artas, so it's not just pick a command and wait. It's more like managing spacing and timing, while your party turns the screen into a fireworks show. You always feel like you're doing something, even if what you're doing is panic stepping away from the spell you definitely should have respected. What really sells it, though, is the story. It's earnest without being overdramatic. The story has stakes, but the characters aren't treated like walking speeches. They feel like people who can be serious when it matters, and still sound like they've been stuck together on the road for weeks. That balance is the Tales series' secret sauce. You get the big JRPG journey, but you also get the small moments that make the party click. And on PlayStation specifically, it's one of those Japan-only releases that just hurts a little, because this would have been a perfect hand it to your friend and watch them get hooked RPG. Tales of Phantasia is the kind of game that does not need to shout to be memorable. It just shows up, does everything well, and then casually reminds you that some of the best PlayStation stuff unfortunately never got on the plane. So that's my top 3 Japan-only PlayStation games: Dr. Slump, Racing Lagoon, and Tales of Phantasia. If you want part 2, drop your favorite Never Left Japan picks, because there are so many games that feel like they were shipped directly from an alternate timeline. Thanks for watching, like and sub, and I shall see you in the next one. Cheers!